I would like to yield to Dr. Wenstrup to allow him to make some comments.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you both for being here. You know, as someone who on June 14, 2017, survived what is only recently determined to be a domestic violent extremist act, I'd like to, comment on some of that as we frame the discussion here today. On that particular day, there were 136 rounds fired. 136 rounds fired. And if not for Steve Scalise being there, the Capitol Police wouldn't have been there. And we would have had 20 to 30 members of Congress killed, easily because they were penned in within the baseball field. God was on our side that day for a lot of reasons. A lot of things that we discovered as we went forward and realized how lucky we were and fortunate we were that day. The gentleman who attacked us came heavily armed, and he had a list of Republicans in his pocket. I wasn't on that list, but any of these lists obviously are very disturbing. And when I see Mr. Carson on a list, here's someone who not only serves here in Congress, but has served his community as a police officer and is a very decent, good gentleman. It's very disturbing. And I'm glad we're addressing these issues, because it has happened on many fronts. And Mr. Langen, I mean no offense to you personally, but the fact that it took 4 years and a new director to have that event on June 14, 2017, termed as domestic violent extremism, as it is defined, why did it take 4 years? Because it was a political stunt within the FBI, starting at the head, who's been fired. And you look at that and FISA abuse, and yes, Americans are angry. They don't have trust in many portions of their government. Those are just a couple of examples. We all have a responsibility here. We all have a responsibility for people to not have a reason to be angry. We bear some responsibility in that at times. But everybody's responsible for their actions. And we do need to address this. And in light of what Mr. Crawford said, and I would agree with him, if we want to understand the threat and the complexity of domestic violence and extremism, and to make sure that we are adhering to our civil liberties, and to make sure that the intelligence community is working within their legal lanes, and if we are to discuss tactics and procedures, I have to submit the questions that I have today for the record and to have them answered in a classified setting. I think that is the appropriate place. I'm glad we're having this discussion, but I think if we really want to get things done as our role on this committee, we need to do it in a classified setting. And I yield back.